But I'm thinking that you guys actually got hit your step goal because you're not telling me like that you didn't. So that's awesome. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today is first of all, like I said, I would love to hear some wins. I'm going to lead into the steps. And then of course, if you guys have anything that maybe my Zoom is being weird, isn't it? That's weird. I have full signal. I don't know why I'm kind of going in and out here. And if there's like, if you are like maybe falling a little bit short on your compliances, struggling with something, share with me kind of why. And don't be shy on telling me like, hey, I'm 100% and I'm not, because a lot of you have come, you come in with your check-ins and like, hey, I didn't nail this and this is why I didn't nail it, or this is why I'm falling a little bit short. So talk to me a little bit about one, a win, and then two, like something that might be in your way, holding you back, help not making you get one be 100% compliance. I can talk today. Go.
Okay, I was terrible at eating yesterday. I ate maybe 600 calories altogether. I got up and it was my first day on my new plan and I couldn't eat breakfast. Like I literally started it all came back up.
Hmm.
And so all day I just struggled with getting food into me. And I don't know if it was the idea of eating actual breakfast because I haven't done that in years.
Mm,
So I don't know, but working on it.
good. So how'd you do this morning?
Uh, I made egg bites. So with all the eggs that I'm supposed to be eating, I wish I could flip this around, but I'm not tech savvy, but maybe you can see I made egg
Yeah,
bites. So,
you're gonna
because
give
I saw,
that a shot?
yeah, I am. Somebody posted, I think in one of the, maybe it was the food porn. So I'm gonna try it. So here I am.
Awesome. Good. Give it a
Mhm.
shot. So here's something like, so I like what you said. So you had a struggle. It could very easily be wrapped around years of not eating breakfast. So it could be a mindset thing. So a couple of things that I might say to you. Try the egg white bites today. If not,
Mhm.
move your second meal, which is a shake forward. Do that
Okay.
and then switch it to breakfast. But the next thing that I want to say is don't let that derail your day.
Right.
Move on.
Hmm.
Okay. Ate the breakfast, didn't go so well. We don't know why. Could be a mindset thing, could be the body and the mind connecting, saying, we don't do that. Right? You got
Yeah.
that means 3 hours from now, what do? You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You eat the next meal, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
600 calories a day ain't gonna do it, but that's
No.
okay. So, like, and guys, this goes for all of you. So, like, this isn't just with nutrition. This isn't just for Trisha. We have this tendency, and I post about this a lot just to the general public. Like you'll hear me post lots of, and this is an example of the fuck it's. This is an example of what I call the fuck it's. Well, and I just spilled my coffee. Fuck it. Dump the whole fucking coffee all over the place. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to clean up a mess. How many of you do that? Oh, I drank my water. I spilled a little down my shirt. Oh, well, dump, 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 dump. You catch my drift?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, and that's not just you, Trisha. I'm saying it to
No.
everybody. So it's like, oh shit, I walked past the M&Ms at work and I popped two in my mouth. Ah, fuck it. I just messed up my day. I'll pick on Coach Jen. I love to do this. I had the apple nachos. Ah, fuck it, man. The whole week's blowing. I like, might as well just eat everything. Like, these are things like you have to learn. I missed a workout. I missed my steps. Shit, the whole week's off. What you have to learn to do, guys, is just pick it back up again. This shit's gonna happen. Happens to me on the daily. Like, I miss meals. I'm like, fuck. God damn it, I ignored my alarm. It's been 4 hours. God, shit, hell. I just get right back on track. I have to adjust and be intentional about what I'm doing, get myself adjusted and get back on track again. So thank you for sharing, Trisha, because I know you're not the only one, and this applies to so many different things, guys. But learn to just not throw the baby out with the bathwater when something goes wrong. Just start over. So, like in your case, Trisha, like I said, what you could have did a little differently was when, all right, well, that shit happened. Moving on. 3 hours from now, I'm gonna eat my snack. I don't know how I'm gonna have my lunch, and you would have been back on track, and you would have been minus about 300 calories. Which,
Yeah,
by the way, you might have even been able to make up at the end of the day because you might have had an appetite, right? You might have been, oh, fuck it. I am not going to bed yet. I'll just eat my breakfast now.
it's true.
Being it went out. All right. Good share. Thank you. All right. Who else has got a win or maybe something that has been like on your last few check-ins struggling with, holding you back? Or maybe it's just something that's been propelling you forward, like, holy shit, I got momentum. I finally started doing this and this is working well.
Well, I want to share. So I've eaten twice already, but I will tell you that and I shared this with you already, when I skipped a meal because I had court stuff going on, the next day my stomach was so swollen. I felt like shit. I went back to eating. I don't eat off the schedule. I just didn't eat what was on it. And the next day after I ate, it was unbelievable the difference in the bloating. It completely went away. I felt great. It was a whole different ball game. So it really does work. And I'm one that absolutely loves the meals besides the charting shit. I won't get into that because that's complicated. But I do have a question about that. So yeah, I have had my moments where I wanted more. Um, and instead of eating shit, I just literally eat the menu. Like I've had a rice cake with peanut butter and blueberries, 2 servings of it. I
Mhm.
mean, is that? But that's how I get rid of the craving for me. I don't want to eat shit. I don't want to eat M&Ms. I don't want to eat the garbage, and it actually really satisfies me. Is that an okay thing when you get to that point?
It's yes and no. Okay. So obviously up until this point, it's worked well for you. You've been on a roll. But, if you start to plateau, what you have to remember, it's a very good point. So you got to, first of all, and I don't think you were on last week, but I want to bring this up for everybody. So those of you that were on my last combos with Jules, like remember what I talked about. So first of all, Anne, you want to like think about the craving. Like, are you really hungry or is it attached to something that's going on? And you have a lot of shit going on. I mean, everybody does, but I know I know that there's a lot of moving pieces with you lately. And so thinking about, what just happened? Did I just get out of a really stressful meeting? Did I just have an appointment with a client? What was it? Did I just get aggravated by something? What was the actual thing that was happening right before the craving hit? Then ask yourself before you actually have the food, like, what do I need? So maybe you just got out of a stressful meeting, and I'm just using this as an example, and what you really need is a fucking break. The old Anne Marie got the break by having a snack. So the craving comes in. So you ask yourself, and I'm not saying that this is not true. Am I hungry or do I just need a flipping break? And if you need a break, take a break. Like go, like shut down the laptop, go for a walk, move, do something, like whatever you need a break from, take that break. If after that break you're literally like hungry, sure, have something. Just make sure that you're letting me know on your check-ins or you're tracking that food, which for you, let me know on your check-ins that you did that. Because you're increasing your caloric intake, and that might mean that I need, and specifically if you're still making progress, like you're losing weight, then I know that I need to make some adjustments to your food. But also remember, guys, hunger in the fat loss phase is 100% normal. So if you go back to your client blueprint success and you were to look at the fat loss phase, it says hangry at times, 100% normal. Why is it 100% normal to be hungry in the fat loss phase? Because if you're always satisfied, you're going to plateau. That means you're fueling your body to what it needs. It doesn't need any more fuel. You have satisfied it. You will maintain weight. When you are in a fat loss phase, hunger will happen between meals. It should happen between meals. You should never be eat your arm off your stomach. And when I say eat your arm off, I mean you're like, holy fuck, I'm so goddamn hungry. I can't stand it kind of thing. Like your stomach, you can feel it in your stomach. Just an annoying hunger, that is normal. And what is happening is the body has burnt through all the fuel that you have given it, the AKA food, and it is now looking for more energy. And when it's looking for more energy between meals and it doesn't have it in its belly anymore because it burnt through, which by the way is a good thing, it burnt through the fuel, what's it going to go after? It's the only other energy source it has, body fat.
Well,
So,
I can relate to everything you just said because after I ate it, I'm like, what the fuck did I eat that for? I really wasn't hungry. So I
yeah.
get it.
Yep.
And then I went and walked on the treadmill because I felt guilty. But yeah, it's good.
Okay, I just need you to reverse that, okay?
Yeah. Mm.
Because we can't, like, this is very, you hear this all the time, but it's a very true saying. And I'm not saying that you have a poor diet, and but like they say, because you're amazing, okay? But if you relate to the old saying, you can't out train a poor diet, that's what they mean. Like, the nutrition should always come first. So that's fine. Just do it in the reverse. Ask yourself the question. But does that help all of you guys? Like when it comes to hunger, like you got to understand, I would love to tell you you're never going to be hungry. And the only time you're never going to be hungry is when you reach your goal weight, your goal size, your goal shape, and we're maintaining you. Then you should be satisfied all the time. If you're in a surplus, you should feel stuffed. That's really the hunger cue. So I love that. Thank you for sharing. And guys, what I love also, Anne, about what you shared too, and you're very good about this, um, is like the awareness, like having that awareness around like when, something happens, like, even you, Trisha, like the awareness around like how you feel and then maybe how you feel today. Like when you guys have these things happen, like that's huge. And when you share that with me, and I love that, like in your check-ins, you're like, well, this is what happened, but oh, this is what I discovered because that's huge. That's movement in the right direction because now you're aware of these things and that's how you start to integrate this into being a lifestyle. So who else has got something for me?
Hi, I'd like to go. This is Adrian. As you can tell, here's my first win. I'm actually walking in the fucking rain, which I've never done in my life before by choice. So there you go. You can see it. Okay, here's the proof. Because you upped my steps to 16,000 last week. So anyway, um, but my second win is I went to see a movie. My adult kids asked me to go see a movie last night, so we went. And I'm like, shit, I'm going to want goobers. I know I'm going to want popcorn. So instead, I brought a Ziploc of chicken cutlets with me. And everybody laughed at me, but I just nibbled on my chicken while everybody else was eating their garbage. So it felt great. So that's my big win of the week.
I love that. I love that. And so I'm gonna I don't raise your hand, guys, if you have something else you really want to share, and I'll call on you. But I like what you shared, Adriana, because that's some of what I want to talk about. And I think if she said 60,000, that's like
16.
yeah, I'm like, I didn't raise her to 60.
No, 16.
I
No,
promise you guys, I did not do that to her.
No.
But it's about, and that's kind of what I want to talk about today. It's about being intentional, and a lot of times everything can get done in a day, guys. You all have superhuman powers. You're all very badass women. Trust me, I know every single one of you are super powerful and you do some serious, amazing shit during the day for other people, for other things. And it's putting that focus and being intentional. So I love what you shared, Adriana, because sometimes shit isn't always going to work out perfectly. but it's learning to be intentional and setting yourself up for success. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. All of those things. So one thing, intentional, like what I liked about what Adriana said is, could she have eaten the popcorn? Yes. Her choice is not to do it. She knew that she would be tempted. Maybe it's not something that she really wanted. Like who goes up? Well, she knew that wasn't something she craved, but she also knew that she would be tempted and triggers would go off at the movie theater. So she's intentionally set herself up for success by bringing something in, and it worked. Now, could there be another time that she goes to the movie theater and has popcorn? Absolutely. But it was a choice that she made, and then she was intentional on how to tackle that trigger. So I love that. Also, intentional about her steps. I walk in the rain sometimes too. And that's something that I wanted to talk about too. Coach Jen messaged me and reminded me about something that I once coached her on. And then Nicole just voice messaged me this morning about something. And I wanted to, and I was like, you know what? I need to talk about this. And so yesterday was like one of my busiest days. And when it comes to check-ins, I had 2 hours worth of awareness calls with new people. Like it was a slam jammed day. But I also am in this mock prep right now where my coaches were testing my body, seeing how it does. So I had 2 gallons of these babies to drink. I had all my food to get in my gym, and I had a 15 plus step goal. I needed to get between 15 and 20,000 steps. Motherfucker. All right. Let's see how I'm going to do this. I had to be intentional. How many of you think I nailed that shit to a cross? Absolutely. How many steps did I get yesterday? Anybody got a guess?
19,000.
You get the gold fucking star. Either that or I already told you that.
You did it. But
Huh?
I knew your goal was 15 to 20, and I knew your day was busy, so I was like, she got about 19. Because I was talking to you and you were walking twice, I think.
Oh, there you go. You're leading into it. So there you go. So I was intentional, guys. I had to set intentional times. And I do this every morning. It depends on my goal, but I had to get X amount. So it's about preparing. Like I intentionally know how many steps I have to get in the morning before my day starts. And sometimes I have to get up earlier. Sometimes I have to get some steps in before I even drink my coffee. I have to set boundaries with myself because I'm a putzer. And as females, we're all putzers. So if I sit down and I start to drink my coffee, sometimes I'll start putzing. And that's putzing in the app, messaging you, putzing here, doing that. And then all of a sudden, God damn it, I didn't get my steps in. I didn't go for my walk, and now I got to move on to the X thing. So now my new thing is I got to get steps in before I have my coffee. And then I go out and I have more steps, and then I start my day. Now, Nicole messaged me this morning, and she was messaging me back, and she's like, hot as balls here, and I need to get my steps in before it gets hot. She's a wimp. She doesn't like heat. She likes cold. She lives in Utah, so she cries when it gets to it. Yes, I'm picking on her, and she knows it because I pick on her all the time. She's got to get up in the morning. So she messages me today. She goes, I get up early, really, really early now. She goes, it's going to sound really weird. She goes, but I know exactly how many steps. She goes, I've calculated it out that 600 steps around my cul-de-sac 4 times, or no, 1 time. And so if I do it 4 times, it's going to give me X amount of steps. And that's going to give me 4,000 steps before I have my coffee. She does something very similar to me. And she nails that, and then she goes out and walks again. My point in this, guys, is you can do anything, but you have to be intentional with what you want to do. It might be down to knowing how many steps is in your cul-de-sac, so that you know that if you walk around the cul-de-sac once, it's 600 steps. If you do it twice, it's, what's 1,200 steps. And you know that it takes you 10 minutes to do that. And you can do it between meetings. You see where I'm going with this? If it makes sense, raise your hand. See where I'm going with this? I got 10 fucking minutes. I know. I'm just using the cul-de-sac as an example. Say with me. I know there's a routine here that's going to give me X amount of steps. I know that if I walk a loop, I'm going to get 2,000 steps. If I do it 2, I'm going to get 4,000. I took a break. I know it takes me approximately 20 minutes. I had to catch up with some calls with Coach Chris, Coach Jen. She busted me, right? I'm on the call. I'm messaging her, talking to her. I'm now multitasking while I'm getting my steps in. Intentional, because those are two things that I could do at the same time. I could have sat down, taken a break, drank some water, and talked to Coach Jen and Coach Chris and answered their questions. Or I could go, hey, I can get my steps in the same time I'm doing it. I also don't really like to use this thing, but I'm very intentional about when I do use it. I can walk and talk to you guys at the same time. So setting up your expectations and creating these can-dos, must-do lists. Your must-dos are your non-negotiables. These are the things that have to happen every single day. And then there's a to-do list of the things that could happen. And if they don't happen today, that's okay. They're just on a separate list, which is what Coach Jen reminded me that I taught her once. Because you can take a to-do list, whether it's your work, your home, your kids, and you can look at it, and it's sand, guys. Learn to look at it and master personally what you have to get accomplished to meet your health and fitness goals, and what you need to accomplish in your work in your life. What are truly the must-dos? And there should only be a couple of them from each category.
You should all be writing this shit down.
So there's must-dos. Like, these are the things that have to happen. The fucking world is going to fall apart if it doesn't happen. Must-dos. Part of the must-dos is sometimes the emergencies that come floating in. These are things that like come out of the right, hit you in the head, right? They're like, holy fuck, the house is on fire. Okay, I got to be able to handle it. Okay, but to avoid the house being on fire, you always have these are the things that must be done today. Should be like 4. Then the rest of them are, they're important, but they're not that urgent. And so they can happen. And they go on a list of, they're going to happen in the future. They're urgent but unimportant. Or they're important but unurgent. That's what I called them, Jen. You got me all mixed up when you were messaging me with your own language. So there's your urgent to-do list, and then there's that is important, and then there's your important, non-urgent to-do list. So Jen has a multiple list of things to do. She also has steps to get in. She has a workout to do. She's just like me. And she messaged me yesterday, and boom, I was like, I saw it unblooming on her. And I said, yo, stop being a squirrel. You can't do it all. Don't go down a rabbit hole. Some of this shit's already done. Make a list. I need you to write your shit down. And then I need you to turn off your notifications. And I need you to focus on 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Make sense, guys? Like, what are your top 4 things? She's like, oh shit, that's right. I forgot. And then make a list of the things that I want to get done. Like, what's that list? Take off the list that has to happen today, what has to happen tomorrow, and just keep doing it day by day. And then there's this nice to have list. These are all the things that I want to do. Okay. And they're great, and they're part of a project, and they might be important, but they don't have to be done right now. And that's how you start to be very intentional and you start to get this thing in. But as females, Jen is not alone. Every single one of you do this. And if you do not, you're bullshitting to me. Raise your hand if you can identify with what Jen does. If all your hands are not up, you are lying to me. You all go down rabbit holes. So learn to start creating. That's how you start to prioritize yourself and learn to figure out intentionally where you can fit steps in, where you can fit your meal plans in. What are some of the things that you can do to set yourself up for success? Another thing, a couple of you guys talked to me about somebody did check in and messaged me with a 911 this morning. Got my workout in. Woo woo! Landed at midnight. Still got my workout in. Nailed my steps. Excuse my check-in pictures. It was dark. My husband was sleeping. I'm going like blah blah blah. But I don't have any food prepped. Okay. The learn there intentionally. This one takes some time to learn, guys. Is learning to set yourself up for success. We talk about this in like the very first meal prep video we do for you, but we're throwing a lot at you that week. So sometimes that is definitely a video and worth a rewatch. But Jen talks about it. I talk about it. We do it differently. Setting yourself up for success. This is another intentional move. Every week that you meal prep, guys, you should be, somebody is, I have backup noise. There we go. You guys should be creating extra food. So if you're meal prepping chicken, rice, whatever the hell it is, I don't give a shit what it is. I wouldn't do veggies, but your protein and carbs, you should be creating extra. You don't have to create a shit ton, but if every time you meal prep, you create extra food and you put it in the freezer, guess what happens when you come home from a long trip? Because I have done it. I have landed at the butt crack of, night, taken a red eye, had nothing available to me. I only did that a couple of times before I learned. I too have a freezer full of food. Every time I do use a meal prep company, but every time I order from my meal prep company, I order extra. My freezer, I always look at my freezer. How much chicken do I have? How much protein? How many carbs? What do I have on hand? So when I have something like that happen to me, I don't have to worry about it. I have backup. And it might not always be perfectly what I need, but I have backup. Coach Jen does it when she cooks. Like she meal preps. So those are like intentional moves, guys, that you can do to start to make your life easier and help you stay on track easier. You're still going to have little snafus, always. Helpful?
I just did some good point. I just see mine's in the freezer. Potatoes, chicken, turkey. It's all ready to go because I'm going out of town this week. So of course, again, this is setting yourself up for success. Like I knew I was going out of town. I cooked extra, put it in the freezer. So I know when I come home on Sunday, I've got enough meals to at least get me through, 3 or 4 days. So then it gives me time to prep some more and set myself up for success. Because you never know when something's going to happen, and you have an emergency. And again, you don't want to be caught with your pants down, right? Jules always does that.
I mean, not unless you got a great ass, then
I mean, sometimes. But again, like you want to be able to, be there for whoever it is that needs you because, that's what happens, right? When, emergencies happen and you want to be able to give your best. So in order to give your best, you got to take care of yourself first, right?
I have a question about the rice.
Yeah.
So I made a lot of rice yesterday, and my boyfriend was giving me shit saying, "Don't store it in the refrigerator."
I store rice in the refrigerator all the time. Refrigerator or freeze it. I do both.
Well, I ended up freezing it because he's a little bit of a nerd. Regardless, he was saying, that it forms some type of bacteria that's not good if you keep it in a refrigerator. I've never heard that before.
Never heard of that myself either. And I
How long can you store rice? I made like 3 packets of it.
I personally will put enough in my refrigerator for, now everybody's different. I'm actually a girl that's okay with 7 days worth of food in my refrigerator. I'm
Same,
okay
that's
with it.
me.
There are certain people that aren't okay with that. I'm the 7 day girl. Everything else is in my freezer. I don't know what Coach Jen does, but like I like so
Yep.
literally rice, sweet potatoes, anything. I'll have 7 days worth of food in my refrigerator, but I never go past 7 days. Everything else is in the freezer.
Yeah,
Got it. All
that's me
right.
too.
I thought it
Yep.
was a weird thing you said. I'd never heard of that you can't store refrigerate rice.
I've never heard that either.
I've
Okay.
never heard it, and I've been doing it for years, and I'm still
Yeah.
standing.
You look great to me, so I'm good.
By the
Oh,
grace of God, I'm still standing, but I'm still standing.
yeah. Well, and freezing it too, like it just eliminates like a lot of wasted food. So, like, I don't know how many of you waste food when you're cooking for a family. Like, my family sometimes won't eat what I have. And so, like, I like to put it in the freezer. Then, of course, like, hey, you need something, just go in the freezer, just pop it in the microwave and defrost it, and we're good to go, right? And then you know exactly what that food is. There's no preservatives, no additives, like those frozen meals that you get at the grocery store. They have a bunch of preservatives and crap in there. So you're really setting up your family for success too.
Hey, this reminds me of something, guys. So we actually are creating we have a few changes that are happening. Coach Jen is going to be taking over what used to be food porn. It's now called Eat to Slay. And she's going to be, so all of our Monday mashups are going to go there, but she's going to be she's going to be doing a lot more of these tips and tricks. So literally, she will be in there. You can still post your stuff in there, but she will be in there doing things like she did this weekend where she posted her meal prep, but she'll be giving guidance, instruction, tips, tricks, things like this to help you guys really be successful, not just with like your meal guides and how to be creative with them. But also like when it comes to macros, your My Fitness Pal, all of the things, don't bombard her or anything. I'm just letting you know what's coming. She's gonna be, so I'm telling you guys to pay attention to that because she's going to start doing a little bit more over there. She's got a few other projects she's got to finish up, but she's the bomb at that. So we're
And
talking a
I'm
lot of
a
this.
busy mom with 2 jobs and a husband who doesn't cook, and so I've learned to manage my time very well, and I've learned to master meal prep very well, and so I want to be able to share it with all of my other busy boss babes in here. So again, we're setting ourselves up for success.
Mhm.
My bird's chirping
Yep.
away.
It's actually, and that's why she's one of the perfect people, guys, because when, like a lot of times when you're brand new, one of the first things that you always want to say is, huh, but I have, like, I've heard this, I don't know how many times. Crystal Lewis, I think at one point you said this to me, but I have a family and my husband or my kids don't want to eat what I eat. Well, like, that's one of the things that Coach Jen will teach you is like she has a husband and 2 kids that don't eat what she eats, and she meal preps her food, and that is it. But the way that she does it allows her family to eat it. And I won't explain it on this call. She's actually got a great video that we'll give to you in your onboarding, and it's actually in Coach Jules resources. You can go down the videos and log into the YouTube channel that says My Fitness Pal and Recipes, and you can watch that first couple of videos. Or I think it's called Meal Prepping Like a Pro. It's in there. But anyway, she talks about it in there. And she's going to be dropping a lot more of that kind of stuff, but it is 100% possible. And it's not hard. It takes her, like she said, about an hour, but that's why one of the reasons we're going to have her start sharing more because it's 100% doable. I've watched her do it over the past few years, and I was like, you know what? You need to teach this shit. I can't teach it because I don't have a husband and a whole bunch of kids. I can teach how to be the sink girl and get it done. So make sure you watch that video, guys. And drop, by the way, drop Coach Jen some fire for doing this for you guys, because I think it's going to be a huge added value. All right. Who else? Everybody's working. Hi, Stacy. Stacy's walking too. Hi, Trudy. Welcome to your first, well, maybe it's your first or your second Convos with Jules. How are you? How's your first week? Hi, Brandy. I was talking about you earlier.
Yeah, I heard.
I already sent you that private message too, so. But I also said you slayed. It was Brandy who messaged me this morning, by the way, and got everything done when she landed at midnight. And she was like, but
What?
but she got everything else done. So she needs to drop her some fire too. I was like, damn, that's impressive. All right. Anybody else? Kate, how you doing with your convention and all your planning?
Went really well. I mean, I brought everything, prepped my salads, and brought everything in with me, and it went really well. I mean, it was still, I think this weekend I had 16,000 steps each day or whatever it was. So, but yeah, it was good. I was able to just prep everything and bring everything in with me because I had an all access, so they didn't confiscate any of my food, which was delightful. So yeah, it went well.
Again, but you know what? Intentional. And you know, I mean, feel free to share, but your first approach to me, and then I challenged you a little, didn't I? You were like, okay, I'm gonna try, and then in her check-ins, and I challenged her. I said, well, you can try, or you can, and I gave her some ideas. I said, it's up to you. Like, so, or I think you said, do my best, and I said, you can try. But that's another thing, guys. If you say to yourself, I'm going to do my best, then you're going to do your best. But if you say, man, that's a good to great. If you say, I'm going to fucking smash this, I'm going to nail it to the ground, odds are you're going to do it. So, like, an example of that is yesterday, I was like, if you think for 1 minute I thought I was going to hit 15,000 steps yesterday, my initial thought was, holy fuck, this is going to be. And then I zeroed out and I went, I'm going to nail this shit. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to nail this shit. And because I told myself that, my brain, it took that from Jules, those negative naysayers on my bus that were like, are you fucking crazy? There's no time in the day to do this. And I said, no, get off my bus. We got a plan. And I'm like, I can do this. And then immediately my brain went into, okay, let's figure out how to get it done. And then not only did I hit 15,000 steps, I hit 19. I didn't even know it. So I looked up this morning, I went, fuck, I hit 19,000 steps yesterday. And that was the same with Kate. I didn't tell her what to do. I just challenged her. And then look, she's on mute. I can't hear you. Did you turn your volume down? Your speaker's off. Can anybody else hear her?
Sorry, are you talking to me? My husband just called as I was on this call. I'm like,
oh, I thought you were talking to me. I thought you were trying
no. I'm sorry. I was my hubby just called.
Well, feel free to ad lib on what I said. What was the game? What shifted for you?
What I did is I just was into so it's very long. I won't tell you guys, like, it's boring, but it's basically our annual Comic-Con. So I manage a team that moderate the celebrity panels. So I'm backstage all day, go. So usually I literally shut down. I don't get hungry because I'm going, because we have panels every 45 minutes. And so it's just constant. So this year, what I did is I brought it. And when I had it was around lunch, I got out my salad and I just was eating as I was going. So I was really intentional just about, okay, I've got to eat, I've got to take time and make sure that I'm, getting in my food and just being intentional with it.
Love it. And these are the shifts, guys, that we just have to learn to make. And they don't come easy because, like Kate just pointed out, in the past, this is what I would do. And these are those habits that I talk about that we all have. Like we have these triggers, these habits, like that can actually be tagged as a trigger. It's just something we automatically do. When I'm busy, go, 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 I shut down and I don't eat. Who can identify with that? Yeah, that's why you have food alarms. That's why you do things like Kate did. You have to be intentional about it because we have these things. Sometimes people are under stress. I don't eat. These are triggers. Like a trigger isn't like always a bad thing. Like a trigger are things, they're things that we do where, and we have to learn to break those things down, identify it. Why did I skip those meals? Why didn't I eat on my nutrition plan? What was happening that day? Oh, I was in the middle of a convention and she identified it. This is what I normally do. But she identified it ahead of time, then was able to set herself up for success going in. I'm sick. I don't eat when I'm sick. Why? I don't know. It's just something I do. I eat crackers and soup when I'm sick. Does crackers and soup make you feel better? Maybe emotionally, but does it really fuel you? I get this one a lot. I'm sick, so I didn't eat. Oh, did you have a stomach ache? Were you sick, like throwing up? No. Just sinus infection. Did it upset your stomach? No. I actually went out and had some food. Why? Because it was fast. Faster than meal prep? Eating healthy? Eating what was in that you had meal prep? No. Why? Because it made me feel good. But it didn't do anything for your body. And that's why you're still sick. But these are triggers, guys. So I'm not being a shit here. It's reality. We're used to that. We were taught from a very young age, how do you heal a cold? Well, you have soup and crackers. Well, I'm telling you, that shit ain't making you healthy. But if you eat on your nutrition plan, you keep fueling your body with the foods that are good. And maybe if you can't eat it all, you don't finish it. I guarantee you, you're probably going to get over that cold, that sickness a hell of a lot faster. And I'm not like these are triggers. Like once you learn to identify them and you go, oh, that's a silly ass thing to do. And what do I need? So like, let's go back to the sick thing. It's a trigger. Why do you want it the soup and the crackers? You identify that with comfort, a cozy ass blanket that's going to make you feel better. I know. So what else could you do to make yourself feel better? Maybe you could have chicken and rice. You could take the chicken, the rice, pour some bone broth over it, which has got so many nutrient denses over it, and turn your lunch into soup. Dip a rice cake in it. There's your cracker. Or some supper. Or maybe you just curl up with the blanket, read a book, and make yourself feel better. Like those are the things that you have to identify. Make sense? So there's like numerous triggers out there. They're not always like don't always think of a trigger as a twitch. Hi, Cindy. Cindy's walking.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. You got anything to share?
Let's see. I came in a little bit late, so I didn't know if it was topic. It sounded like meal prep. But
we were talking just about intentional and purpose. And you actually fit into this, like intentionally getting steps in, like how do you master things and just about creating intention from whether it's structuring your day to, and you know what? Cindy's a huge entrepreneur. You actually do a lot of things very intentionally, including your steps, your nutrition, all of that. So yeah, you can totally weigh in. That's what we're talking about, being intentional.
yeah, and good morning, everybody. Intentional for me, where I've had to really wrap my head around things, is it constantly changes. Like I'll give you an example. Summer started for the kids. Anybody that has kids, my whole schedule right now is flipped upside down, right? And yesterday, I had a whole family meeting and bit my whole family off because my things aren't in place. Everyone's home. My house looks like a tornado. You know, kids are making food and they're just piling the trash on top of the trash. And So it's really about, okay, being intentional. I'm still getting up at the same time and doing my walks. I have a 12-year-old, so she's at the place now where I'm like, I'm going on a walk. I'll be back. Right. Um, so change, whereas before I wouldn't leave her. I'm like, no, this is for me. This is the time I start my morning steps, take it or leave it. I'm going on a walk. But in regards to food, part of that breakdown last night was adjusting to change because they're home all the time and I'm trying to work. And like this morning is normally my gym time at 8:30. Well, no one's going to be home. And so I told my husband, I'm like, I can't get to the gym at 8:30. He goes, okay, then what I'll do is I'll come home between jobs and you can go at 10. And instantly I was like, that's not my time. But the truth is today I have to go at 10 and he actually made the time in his schedule to come home so I can go. Right. So, okay, wrap my head around. I don't do that well with change if you can get that part. But, there was that on top of the kids are, can you take me to Starbucks? Can I go get an ice cream? I did good grades. Can we go to yogurt? And I find myself resentful because it all revolves around, can I get a treat? Right. And I had to really back up. I've actually journaled on it this week because I'm like, there's chicken, broccoli, and rice. Why can't you have that in the fridge? I have all my meals. Adjusting to that change and understanding that they do that because that's what they've learned. It's my fault, right? It's my fault. Good grades, have an ice cream. Happy birthday, have cake, right? Everything revolves around stuff that I don't eat anymore. And I find myself getting resentful that they act like that. And I thought, wait a minute, it's my fault. I'm the one that created that. So how do I undo that for them? And now that they're home with summer, it's intensified because they have friends over. And so I'm currently kind of really working on, it's really not their fault. And how I undo a pattern that I'm the one that created and to not feel resentful against it. I mean, I can take them out for ice cream and that's not a problem, but it's the constant behavior, I guess, that is kind of driving me bananas. So when the trash is full, I'm going to lose my shit on them, right? Like, why can't everyone help out? So for me currently right now, it's just understanding that change is a constant. No matter what it is in your life, change is a constant, and how you adapt and adjust to make sure you're still getting your own needs met, because so many years I didn't meet my needs, right? So, and now that they are my number one priority and everything comes after, how do I adjust the resentment and the conflict I'm feeling, and not feel resentful or not have conflict and go, okay, today my gym day is 10. It's not going to be 8:30. Yeah. So, and I had a husband that accommodated that, right? Because I was like, oh my God, here's what's happening. Like it was the end of the world. I have a home gym, and I do squeeze it in at home when I can, but today on my actual plan, I need the equipment. So I think, that's kind of what I'm going through right now, just adjusting to change, how to not feel resentful when I really have to look at the resentments really coming from me and how do I undo habits that I originally created. It's not their fault, right? And just create better habits for them. Like, no, we can't do that today, but we can do this today, and replace it with something else that I'm so in tune to being healthy. So in tune to being healthy, or setting up a chore list or whatever that looks like. More times than not, the friends all want to be at my house, which is great and fine, but there's boundaries with that, right? Sure. I almost, I have my first Norm supplements all out, and some of my 18-year-old friends are really into fitness, and they started scooping, and I'm like, wait a minute, you can have other stuff, but you can't have that, right? That's mine, and it's expensive. Don't drink it. So, it's kind of what I'm in right now, just adjusting to the change and trying to create different habits for my kids that I really created and to not take it out on them.
I love this share. So a couple of things that I'm going to put in there, and thank you for being vulnerable because guys, this is reality. So, just to put perspective, Cindy could have the ice cream, the yogurt, whatever. You all can have it, but it's choices that you make. And it's like what you choose to do and how you and what fits and feels good to you. And if you want to hear more about Cindy's story, she actually podcasted with Nicole and I, where she takes a deeper dive into where she came from. She's got a very interesting background, and it'll a lot of the things that she just tipped into of habits and things that she created. She kind of goes through it. So definitely tune into that podcast. But because she's got a great story, powerful one. But it is about Cindy. So, like, I would say you hit on a couple of things, and this is good for all of you guys. This is a journey. And once you start creating these habits and new values too, there's going to be adjustments or what I call pivots that you have to sometimes make. And one of the things, if you haven't done it already, Cindy, I'm going to encourage you to do is make sure you say thank you to your husband. Be grateful for the fact that he gave you that space and time. Because yes, you felt it, and I feel it too, and everybody here has felt it. Up there goes my schedule. And it doesn't necessarily have to be your gym time, because you have what we teach you here is to put rocks in, and those rocks don't move. But sometimes they have to shift a little for certain things, and that's the pivot. But that doesn't mean the rock gets taken out of the day or the whole plan and thrown out the window. We have rest days. Maybe that rock needs to move to another day. Maybe that rock needs to move to a different place in the day. It's not something that we do daily, but sometimes there's moments in our life that they're uncontrollable situations. And that's what we call flexible non-negotiables. So learning to be okay with that. And I think you have a pretty awesome husband that is creating that space to give you the time to go to the gym. So make sure you say, hey, honey, I'm grateful. I don't care how you do it. And make sure he knows it, okay? And then, then the big picture that I'll say here and to learn for you, Cindy, is, I hear you. And I think a lot of parents can hear you in the fact of and it's not your fault. Like, we were raised a certain way. So well, I can't say I have no children, but in general, I say we, as all of us, probably implement that on our kids, right? And I don't think it's about you figuring anything out. I don't think any of you have to figure anything out. You lead by example. And that's how they learn, by watching you. And I think you've already nailed it, is like just saying something simple, like, how about we can do that? We can definitely go to Starbucks, but instead, let's do this today. Because quite frankly, I have a Starbucks habit myself, but that shit's expensive. So I don't blame you, Cindy. I don't fucking want to take them to Starbucks all the time either. But creating like a different, and it's the same thing that I talked about earlier on the call, is identifying what the thing is. So Cindy, you may have missed the beginning of the call, but can you guys see how this would fit into this situation too? What just happened that the kid, the husband, whomever wants the thing? In her case, it's her kids. I want to go to Starbucks because I got good grades. I want to go get ice cream because I got good grades. It's not that any of those things are bad, but if you want to start to teach them a different way, because Cindy's like, and again, listen to her story. She grew up with this emotional attachment through food, and not the way that you think it is. And she wants to make sure she's making these pivots and these changes with her kids. And I think, Cindy, you nailed it. It's just about reframing it. It's not saying no to them, but like, hey, listen, I want to reward you, but coming up with different ways of doing it. I don't know what that is because I don't know what your kids are, but teaching them through example, that's a great idea. And you know what? We'll do that next week, or we'll do that next month, or like, but let's go do this today. Or how would you like this? Or however, like you want to do it. But those are the little shifts that you make. I don't think it is. And I think the resentment, I don't think you resent anything. I think it just is building up because somewhere in your mind, like you're like, shit, fuck, I'm in this great place. And I want to make sure my kids are in this great place. And when things start to happen and you get a little tossed around, like, I don't think you because girlfriend, like I said, she has a couple of she eats a shit ton of food. Like a shit ton of food. She chooses to eat a lot of chicken and broccoli, and she's kind of like me. But she also has burger and fries and all kinds of other things. Like she gets refeed meals. So I mean, she's in a really solid place. So it's not like I said, Cindy can't have the ice cream, but these are things that she chooses to not do. Like Barb, I look at you, like, you were in Italy, you chose not to have the bread or the pasta, but you had the gelato. Same situation, you know what I mean? Like you make your choices. So I think, Cindy, it's just about you revisiting that. And then maybe sometimes you do have the damn ice cream with them, you know? But you teach them like it's okay, but there's no emotional attachment to this. Not necessarily a reward, but we're doing it because maybe you really intention, meal two. Um, you just that's what I would do. Like, does that make sense, Cindy? Like zooming out, and it's not you can't have the ice cream, but the ice cream isn't the reward. And hey, let's do it. Let's go get ice cream, but maybe you do something else to reward the situation, but you go get ice cream the next day just because you want to go get your favorite ice cream. Because that fucking like, oh, Sandy, is she still on here? She's not. Sandy Dion said to me, Jules, I don't know what to do this summer. My husband and I every weekend go to this ice cream place and we have ice cream. I'm like reading through the whole story in her checklist, and she says, I don't know what to do. Like it's something that we always did. And then she started to explain the feeling around it. She's like, it's not about the ice cream, Jules. We take this drive. And she started explaining I don't even know if she knew it, in her message to me, the drive, right down to the dog going with them and the dog's ears flapping in the window. I was like, well, fuck, that's a flat out experience. And I messaged her back and I said, go have fucking ice cream. If that's what this is about, go have fucking ice cream. But how about you don't do it once a week, you do it once a month? And then you have the ice cream. I said, but I guarantee you, if you do that, it's not about you're doing it because you really cherish, like, that's that full body, I want that ice cream. She goes, that ice cream is really good. I'm like, do it, but like renegotiate it, re-intention it, have it because you want it. Maybe don't do it weekly, make it more special, do it monthly, do it twice a week. I don't know what it is. And I bet you, and then like implement like a 4-bite rule and just say, she's like, why don't we eat the kitty cup anyway? I'm like, well, there you go. She messaged me back. She's like, oh, it's genius. I'm like, yeah. So it's not about depriving yourself. So for you, Cindy, I don't know where she went. Maybe it's like shifting that thought pattern to your kids. Like, yeah, we're going to go get ice cream, but not today. Today, because you had good grades or whatever the hell it is, we're going to do this. And then 2 days later, you go get the ice cream. I'm looking, does that make sense? Now you're shifting that attachment. She's not talking to me. Did that make sense to everybody?
Yes. And what sparked me is that for parenting wise, I mean, I replaced the going out for ice cream and all that as the boys have aged, but is to just a small little amount of money for grades. And then what they've done is now they're 18 in college, but they learned how to manage that, whether it's 50 cents, whatever. But then they get a piggy bank and they hear it jingle, and then one day it doesn't jingle because it's so full. So, I mean, they've learned to manage their money with their good grades or whatever. And then the other thing, I think that's a really good idea is that we're not going for ice cream because of your grades or for whatever. We're just going to go have ice cream.
Mhm.
And they're going to be like, what are we going for? Well, we're just going to have ice cream. And then they're like, oh, so there's a cause and effect there. There's no attachment or no connection to we did something good, so we get something. So yeah, that's what I think would help a lot, Cindy. I think she's on here.
Yeah, she is. I like it. You just took what I said and you wrapped it up into mom language for me. Thank you. That's exactly what I was saying. Bravo. Thank you. I needed that.
No problem.
But you exactly said what I was trying to say. All right. Does anybody want to add to this or have anything else they want to share? This is a great Convos with Jules. I appreciate any wins, anything, or are you guys Gucci?
I did have a win, and you don't know about this, Jules, but last week, Apollo, our 1-year-old Mastiff, got in the pool and he swam to the deep end and he couldn't get out and he was clutched to the side of the pool and was like death grip there. And my son was out there watering the plants. And so I went out there and I'm like, just a minute. Mastiff's got massive wrinkles. And I just reached down and pulled him out. And he's like 180 pounds. So I'm like, that was like huge for me. I'm like, did I just do that? I pulled a 180-pound Mastiff leaning over in the deep end out. And I'm like, wow, okay, strength training works.
That's a win. I love those little like non-weight goal wins. That's huge.
Yeah, you don't know when you're going to use it. And then it just
Mhm.
like comes into play and you're like, cool.
I
But that
love
was my win, one of them.
I love that win. Huge. It just goes to show you guys, like, the sexy part of strength training and having muscle in your body is the shape and how you, but like, there's so much more to it. There's so much more to it. Like, it's just, that's one thing, but it's like the fact that, what if that was like, God forbid, what if that was one of her kids or her grandchildren? Same situation. I mean, I guarantee your dog is like that, but what if? Like, I just went there. Like, what? And if you didn't have that strength because you weren't here taking care of yourself, like, I mean, that's instantly also went through my head. So there's so many benefits to it. Stacy, got anything to add before we chill out? I see you intently looking at me. You had a week too that you navigated through.
Yeah, it helps to have a plan in place, bells and whistles to go off, because when I get under that kind of stress, I just don't eat, and I just about lapsed right into it. So, yeah, it worked.
Worked. You had a good week. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Nicole had a good week too. I see her busy at work there. I won't make you talk. She posted in the group. You can if you have the time. She had a really good week too. She's typing. Or she's trying to get off of mute and I need to help her. I think this is her. Where'd she go? She's jumping around on me. I'll ask her to unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, that's what happened. I tried to get off mute and jumping around. I haven't used Zoom in a very long time. So, yes, it's been a good week. I've been figuring things out. Um, but like today was a little test because I thought I had enough food prepped for my lunches because I'm in the office 3 days a week. Um, and did not. I didn't have enough cabbage. I haven't needed cabbage. So I did have some cut it up, put it in a bowl, put some seasoning on it, and I'm gonna figure out how to nuke that bad boy and steam it in the microwave and just to be sure, because initially, I mean, 2 weeks ago, or a week ago even, I probably would have been like trying just to figure out what I could buy to substitute, and it would have been something, not so healthy, or just would have skipped it and not ate enough. But yeah, so that was a win for me today.
I love that. And sometimes we just
And
have to do
then
it.
left a note for my husband, if he had time and got home early, to please make some sweet potatoes and cabbage. So I'm prepped for tomorrow.
There you go. I love that. That's intention.
Yeah, so it's been a
Intentional.
learning curve with trying to meal prep. Um, I think I told you the first week it literally took me like 3 hours. I was exhausted, and felt like I'm not going to be able to do this again. And then the next week, because of one of Jen's videos, I actually did like my lunches on Saturday and then did my dinners on Sunday. And that was a total game changer for me.
Yep. And I know Cindy's been in here for a while. There's a few people that have been in here for a while. They can tell you it gets easier, Nicole. It like literally it probably took them all 3 hours. It took me 3 hours, and now they can do it like in an hour. So it will get easier and it'll actually make your life easier. So Good news is coming. All right, ladies, speaking about being intentional, I had a hard stop with you guys at 10 because I've got to go to the gym. I've got a big day today. It was great chatting with you all. I'll drop the recording in and I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. All right. Peace.